Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Hi again. On this episode, we will be making mac and cheese. Very basic mac and cheese. To begin, let's get our ingredients. You're gonna need 21 ounces of small elbow pasta. I'm making a big batch here. 4 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese or cheese of preference. 2 cups of whole milk, salt to taste. We're not using that much salt. That's just where I'm keeping my salt for this video. 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, all purpose in this case, and 1 clove of garlic in paste form. You could also buy garlic paste. You could make it yourself. You could throw whole garlic. Up to you. Let's begin by grabbing a pot, filling it halfway with water. Once you get that ready, you want to grab your salt and you want to add enough salt to the water so that it is resembling of the ocean. So you really want it to be somewhat salty. You want to make sure the noodles definitely get that when they're boiling. Once you add your salt, you can set your heat to high. I covered my pot so it can bring it till it gets to a boil. While that's getting ready, we can go ahead and make our cheese sauce. You want to start and turn on your heat to medium low. Grab a sauce pot and let's get ready. With your sauce pot hot and ready, not extremely hot, you want to add your 2 tablespoons of butter, and you want to make sure that your butter melts completely before you go ahead and add the flour. And this part is very important. It's something you don't want to go too high heat, because if you haven't made a roux before, it can burn very easily. You want to move around your butter, want to make sure it's melted, you want to make sure your heat is controlled, no extreme heat. It's better for it to take longer than for it to burn and having to redo it, or it to burn and then you have like a bitter taste in your mac and cheese. When your butter is melted, you add your flour, and same thing, stir it so it comes completely together. And you want to keep stirring that to make sure no lumps form. While you're doing this, you're going to be whisking for a really long time, or at least a good amount of time, because we don't want it to stick, we don't want it to burn, we want to keep pretty much our eyes on this part. You want to leave this while constantly whisking for a few minutes, maybe like a minute or 2, just enough so that the flour taste is gone, the flour is cooked. Again, keep whisking so nothing sticks to the bottom. We don't want to, I keep repeating it, but we definitely don't want burnt cheese sauce. Once that's done, you can go ahead and slowly start to add your milk. I keep whisking, again, just making sure we're not sticking anywhere, no lumps anywhere. Everything is looking to a nice consistency. Adding your milk slowly and keep whisking. At first, in my case, it may start to lump up because it kind of wants to become a dough, or at least for me it did. And so I added more milk and kept whisking. I got a little impatient as well, so I added the rest of my milk and kept vigorously whisking so that the lumps wouldn't continue to form. And the key here is to keep consistent heat and keep whisking. That's going to slowly make sure everything is cohesive and smooth and creamy. And we want to break up any lumps that may have formed, and that's okay. We can just keep going. Keep whisking. And yeah, I'm saying that a lot, but that's kind of like the important part of this sauce here.
Look at the flick of that wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist.
That's the key, flick that wrist. Once you have your milk mixture smooth enough where it doesn't have any lumps, you can go ahead and start adding your cheese. Now this part, you can be more creative and add different cheeses. I kept it really basic because it's something that I wanted to make kind of like if you're in a rush or something, you don't really want to, you're feeling kind of, you don't want to do too much. It's something basic. It's like one-upping the boxed mac and cheese, but it's pretty good. You want to add your cheese in batches. I added it a little bit and started whisking, making sure that's all slowly getting to know each other. The cheese is going to slowly melt. At first it's going to look lumpy, but with patience and in time, the cheese sauce will come together. So you can add it in as many batches as you want. I went ahead and did it in 2. But what you definitely want to keep in mind is not to alter the heat and not to add too much at once. Again, whip it, whip it, whip it, whip it. Anyways, till it all comes together. Your cheese may take a little bit to melt and incorporate itself in the sauce, but once it does, we can then add our garlic, and you can totally skip the garlic if you don't like it. This is just something I like to add to my mac and cheese. I think it elevates it a little bit. I waited till the sauce is a little more creamy and less lumpy to add the garlic paste. And here, same thing with the cheese earlier. In this part, if there's any seasonings or anything you might want to add to kind of like change up the flavoring on it, you can totally do it at this stage. Is a good point where you can mix it with the sauce. After like about 10 minutes, maybe 15 of whisking and making sure nothing's sticking to the bottom, your sauce should be ready. And I added the garlic at here, okay. But it's the same concept. In about 10 to 15 minutes after whisking, your sauce should be ready. The consistency of the sauce is nice and smooth, no lumps, nothing's chunky. Everything is also not thick, like it can still. You know your sauce is ready when you grab a spoon, dip it in your sauce, and it coats the back of the spoon, and if you run your finger through it, there's still like a streak in the middle. At this point, you want to taste your sauce for anything that you want to add in case it needs some salt, and your sauce is ready. At this point, your water should be boiling, and you want to make sure your sauce is off the heat. You add your pasta to the water and boil it until it's al dente per package instructions. Drain it, and you want to go ahead and grab your sauce and add it to your noodles in the pot that you boiled your noodles. Keep in mind, if you need to heat up the sauce, you totally can. You can just put it in really low heat, let it simmer for a little bit, continuously stirring. Once your sauce is on your noodles, you want to make sure your noodles are well coated. We don't want no naked noodles around here, keeping it PG. No one wants to get a spoonful of like sauceless noodles. In my case, I grabbed a little bit of the pasta water and added it to the noodles. I thought it could go, it could be a little creamier or a little more moist. And listen to this. That's the sound you want, and that's it. Get ready to plate. I like to add, or at least in this case, I added a little bit of dried basil and a little tiny bit of pepper flakes. If you don't like that, you can totally skip that. Another thing you can do if you wanted to elevate it even more, you could put it in a casserole, grab some breadcrumbs, cover it and bake it. But like I said, this was something basic. I wanted to make something that's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Let's grab a taste. And these turned out pretty good. I mean, in like 30 minutes, make some mac and cheese, almost about the same as grabbing a box of mac and cheese. Go ahead, take your box mac and cheese, throw it in the garbage, and make yourself a plate of these. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And till next time.